I'm Erin from Best Life Physical Therapy, and I'm here today to make a video for you on how to reboot your palmar and plantar reflexes. So the way we're going to do this is begin by lying down, and what you'll do is you'll take your pen, you've got two pens, and you'll take a pen and place it in front of the ring finger on both hands. Oh, I forgot to mention, the reason that you'd want to do this is if you push right here on this muscle in your thumb. Mine's kind of tender, and on the left, and then not as much on the right. So if it was only on one hand, you would only have to do the technique on the one hand. But actually, now that I did that, I can feel it on the right. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on both hands. And so what you'll do is you'll place the pins behind the ring finger so that that finger is more extended. And then I'll have you lie back and externally rotate your hands. So turn your hands out, and then just hold your arms in this position. And we're going to try to do that for 2 minutes. Now, what I like to do is go ahead and reboot the plantar reflexes at the same time. So the way we're going to do that is by pointing the toes down, pointing the feet down and the toes, curling the toes under, and then we're just going to try to invert and evert the feet while we do this, so that kind of like a windshield wiper motion, but the foot is still remaining in plantar flexion, pointed downward, toes are curled under, and you just go in and out. Now what will happen is that you will sometimes start to feel the foot wanting to cramp up, and that's normal if your intrinsic foot muscles are not very strong. So if their endurance is not great. So actually that's an indication that you should do this exercise and work your way up to being able to do that for 2 minutes. If the foot starts to cramp, I mean, you just have to, after about 15 seconds of cramping, go ahead and stop, because it's just gonna hurt. And then you can, get up and stretch it. That'll stop the cramp. But so what you're gonna do is just hold these hands overhead, spread the fingers out really wide, hold the toes down, feet down, ankles go inward and outward. And after about 2 minutes of holding in that position, then the reflex actually reboots. And what we'll do is we'll repalpate those spots. I didn't actually tell you what the spots were for the plantar. The plantar reflex will actually reboot all of the points in the lower quarter. And so typically what I will find is I will palpate the calf muscle and find a very tender point there. And then after doing this technique for 2 minutes, then it will reboot that and it won't be tender or sore. But it can help with the whole entire lower quarter. And the same thing with the thumb. The palmar reflex can be rebooted, and you can go ahead and repalpate that spot. Mine's not very tender anymore. Maybe a little bit, but mostly better. Right one's completely better. And then for the plantar, you can palpate in that calf and see if those spots there are better. So a lot of times it's very helpful, and if you're going to be doing it for your palmar, you might as well do it for the plantar at the same time. In health and hoping that you can live your best life, I'm Erin Wilson with Best Life Physical Therapy.